Today we're doing a review of the Bellroy Laneway belt bag. In this video, I'm gonna take my experience of reviewing 500 plus of the world's best bags, and we're gonna tear this thing apart. We're gonna pack it out, we're gonna talk about the honest pros and cons. We're gonna discuss whether it should be named a belt bag, and in case it's not the bag of your dreams, or you're not quite sure if you wanna make a purchase, we highly recommend staying around to the end of the video, because I'll make some alternative bag recommendations that might be a bit more up your alley. But first, let's talk about the gist of the Bellroy Laneway belt bag. If you don't know, Bellroy is an Australian-based carry brand, and they're known for making a lot of cool gear. They make cool wallets, they make cool phone cases, they make cool backpacks, sometimes world-class backpacks. But one thing they do, I think, better than many other brands on the planet is making slings. God, they make great slings. So when I saw they launched a new one, I'm like, yo, I gotta get my hands on that. We gotta tear it apart. And I've been testing it out and I got a lot to say. Let me run you through some of its top features. It's a super simple sling with a pretty malleable build. We've got a main compartment here with 2 internal pockets and a key leash. We've got a back zippered pocket as well. And then we've got a very well-designed harness system that features nylon webbing inserted at 2 different locations and magnetic hardware from Woojin. The Laneway belt bag currently comes in 4 color options. This is the blue steel. Now let's talk about the size, because it's advertised to be 2 liters. And Bellroy has had a tendency in the past to be a bit aggressive in the advertised capacity of their slings. This feels pretty close to me though. A little light probably. So you can see right here, we've got the sling fully packed out with our volume measurement balls. This means we're not gonna be able to fit anything into the back pocket. For capacity, this black line is 1 liter. This black line is 2 liters. We're coming in probably at like 1.3 liters. Measuring slings is a bit more of an art than a science. So take that measurement with a grain of salt, but I can say with decent amount of confidence, it's not gonna pack like a full 2 liter bag. Definitely closer to 1. For the dimensions, we've got a width of 9.5 inches and a height of just over 5 inches. This is the belt bag when it's empty. And here it is when it's fully packed out and worn on the Nomadization team. For reference, I'm 5'8", and our media manager, Margaret, is 5'2". And if you're wondering why we're showing a belt bag being worn on our team in crossbody mode, I'm gonna talk about that in a bit more detail 1 chapter from now. And don't worry, we're gonna pack out this sling throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. All Bellroy bags are covered by their 6-year warranty against manufacturing defects. And for all that, the Laneway belt bag runs around 70 USD. And I gotta let you know that if at any point during this review, you're thinking about picking one of these bad boys up, or you wanna find out more information, we highly suggest doing so using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. But that link also helps support the Nomadization YouTube channel and team so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. All right, let's talk about the outside of the Bellroy Laneway belt bag. I always start this section by talking about the look of a sling, and I'm just gonna riff for a minute just in general that, like, I think Bellroy knocked it out of the park with this sling again. Sort of. Sort of is where I'm a little confused by it as to why it's being advertised as a belt bag. It could be worn as a belt bag. It's all right. Sure, possible. You can wear it as a hat too if you want. But this thing in sling mode just looks and feels great in my opinion. It's so compressed and just got this really casual aesthetic to it while giving you this quick access zipper right there. Like I really like this bag in sling mode, especially what we're talking about right now for that aesthetic. Margaret, what do you think about the way it looks? Margaret agrees. But having said that, one thing I don't personally appreciate as much is the choice of fabric. And Bellroy's website's always so vague about fabrics, which I understand from one element because they switch things out all the time. They're a very fast moving company. So in 2 months, this bag could have a completely different fabric that it uses. And they don't want to update their website. I understand, but also for a consumer's perspective, it kind of because I want to know what this is. It says 55% nylon, 30% fishing nets, 5% other materials, blah, 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 but I don't know what it is. But I'll be honest, it's not my favorite fabric. It's kind of like, I don't know, like 80s feminine to me. Not that 80s or feminine is a bad thing, right? I'm just looking for something that's a bit less shiny in my sling. And the silky kind of feel and just that little sheen that the fabric gives, it just means that I just think this has got a little less masculinity to it. This sling's got a little less balls to it. But also maybe that's just the blue version I have, maybe the black and the green, a little bit different. But I will admit, it does feel like a premium fabric, silky to the touch. and should have some decent abrasion resistance and weather resistance. Bellroy's branding, they're getting weird with it now. They're doing all these different things. This is not my favorite stamp of theirs. It's too big, shrunk down a little bit. Now we're gonna talk about the 1-2 pockets in the next chapter. Let's talk about the harness system and why this is not a great belt bag, at least in my opinion. Because to me, a great belt bag has a certain build to it. Look at this, like the Evergoods MPH. Now listen, I know it's not fair comparing these bags. They couldn't be more different, right? Like you want a bag with some balls to it. This thing's got some swinging cojones. Just looking at the construction, you can see that we have this harness system that is just designed to fit around the hip as to where it shoots out perfectly east and west. So when it's around your body, it's just perfectly hugging your hips. And even if you don't want something as burly as the Evergoods, you can see like this Patagonia hip belt, right? Much more dainty and lighter, but still, if you look at the way that the harness is sort of built in, it's just meant to go circular around your hips. Instead though, if we look at the Bellroy, you can see that while we are like totally getting that we're getting a lot of movement in something like this as well, as to where like it can be worn on your belt, sure. Any Sling that I've ever reviewed can. But as Margaret and I were testing it, we just didn't feel like it was like a great fit there. And also, we had a strap problem as to where the longest the strap can go is around 45 inches, but the shortest is like 26 inches, which means that this bag at its most tight wasn't able to fit around Margaret's waist. It was sliding on down. And I'll be honest, like I'm like not the skinniest dude in the world. I used to be like spaghetti ectomorph, right? I've put on a little LBS since then. And even I, as I clip this in fully around my waist, was still a little loose, even though it was fully tightened. And then on top of it, just like a design like this works perfectly for a crossbody bag at a hip belt. So pardon my riff, but all in all, for all those points, just wanna let you know, I don't think this is Bellroy's best attempt at a belt bag. It's just kind of a marketing name. This is a sling, and a killer sling, because this design right here allows the sling to move with your body. I mean, look at how perfectly it's just sitting on my chest as I'm waltzing through the streets of Hong Kong in 97-degree summer weather. God, it's hot out there. So I love a strap like this when wearing the bag in chest mode. We got some metal hardware, gives the bag a bit more premium feel. Love this nylon webbing. Bellroy never skimps on their webbing. Their webbing game is so strong. Something I never thought I'd say until I turned into like a total bag nerd. But these little touch points go a long way on a bag that costs $70, right? And speaking of a touch point, magnetic hardware. Woojin, one of the best magnetic hardware manufacturers in the game. And this is a beautiful touch point. And for someone like me, I'm cool with it. But for someone like Margaret and a lot of people in our community, this magnet hardware is a deal breaker for people never buying the bag because A, you're a bit more prone to theft, and B, it's just kind of easy to do one of those and potentially knock the bag off. Fellow bag reviewer Bois Mono actually had this happen while he was on his motorcycle. I'll say it's never happened to me personally, but it's definitely something to be aware of. And again, like last note on the belt bag part, I don't think that this would be used like on the side for a belt bag. I think like, you know, right there in the back just makes a little bit more sense. I don't know, am I overthinking it? Is this a belt bag? Is this meant to be worn in your hip? Am I just being like way too like nitpicky? Or are some of my points making sense? Let me know what you think about the best way to wear a bag like this in the comments below. Moving on, let's talk about the inside of the Bellroy Laneway belt bag. YKK zippers give you access to this main compartment, and boom, you can see we have a really nice lining in here, which again is a new lining from Bellroy. This kind of reminds me of Pact's new lining that they use in their Aero travel backpack, as to where it kind of feels like not cheap, but like it's not very expensive, but it also feels nice. It's got just like a plasticky sort of feel to it, but it doesn't feel like it's gonna rip. And I love the actual color. Yet again, Bellroy with their little touches. They're better at this than most brands. The way that that's sort of like, I don't know, clay red mixes with steel blue. It's very nice. And with the back pocket, there's no additional organization, but it's a big panel. It's actually this entire back area here, and a little bit of space on top as well. Let's go ahead and pack it out. Now for a 2-liter sling that packs kind of more like a 1-liter, you're not gonna fit a bunch of big bulky stuff in there. So let me give you an idea of some things that it doesn't fit. 24-ounce Columbia water bottle. This is going to be no-go. Your typical sized book, also not gonna happen. So you can see, this thing's little. Maybe a very small travel umbrella, or just barely gonna get that in there. So it could be a good travel companion, but really for me, I'm just gonna pack small things in here. This is definitely the epitome of a pocket reliever sling. So we're gonna do phone battery in this pocket, along with my AirPods, some gum, some meds. And then we do have a bit of space that we're playing with as well. which could be a good spot for a foldable tote, or maybe potentially hard shell sunglasses. Yeah, that's gonna be the Sling's main compartment right there. For the back, we could fit my iPhone 13, I believe. Oh yeah, very nicely. You gotta love a pocket like this on a Sling because it's pressed against your body, which is why I'm always gonna put usually a wallet, passport, or a boarding pass in there. So then it just kind of keeps it a bit more secure while still being super simple to access. And boom, like this is it. Don't overcomplicate it. This is what the belt bag that's not really a belt bag, but it's advertised as a belt bag, gives you. Really quick chest access. Now, a couple notes about the access. Having tested this Sling out, there is a little bit of zipper snagging happening. Nothing terrible. This is me going into like hardcore nitpick mode. But one-handing, you will get maybe a little caught sometimes. You just wanna throw the extra hand in there to give it a smoother opening and closing. But yeah, dude, front, middle, back. This is Bellroy's Sling comfort wizardry at its finest. But definitely like less so on, I mean, like it works. It's just a much better Sling. One last note before we talk about the pros and the cons. If you're really enjoying this review, you might be a bit of a bag nerd. If so, I'd just like to say, welcome to the channel. And if you're not already, you should really consider subscribing to the Nomads Nation newsletter. Because in that newsletter, I take these reviews and like kind of the look that we're doing at this industry, and we go to a deeper level, where I bring directly to your inbox breaking news on newest drops, limited edition collabs, plus you get access to our discount codes and exclusive community giveaways. So if you wanna keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in the EDC and travel gear niche, I highly suggest looking for this globe emoji in the description below. And hope to see you in your inbox. All right, pros and cons of the Bellroy Laneway belt bag. Let's go. Pro number one, an incredibly comfortable Sling fit. Pro number two is you gotta love a Sling that has a hidden back zipper pocket. And pro number three is just gonna be the super streamlined and minimalist user experience. But on the cons side, the minimalist and streamlined user experience might be too minimalist for some. I'm talking about all you OCD organizers out there. This Sling might not have enough pockets for you. Con number two is the magnetic hardware will be a deal breaker for many. And con number three, I just feel like the harness system doesn't make it the best belt bag. And if you're watching this and thinking, dude, that's fine, because I don't even want a belt bag anymore. I want a Sling bag. I want to pop that bad boy right in my chest, relieve the pocket. Let's freaking go. And you're gonna make a purchase. Just a reminder, we do ask that you do so with the first link in the description. As that link, just make sure you get the best price. And if we have any discount codes, that's what they'll be. But if you're not quite sold and you want to see what else is on the market, let's talk about some alternatives. First up, if you're new to the channel, I highly suggest watching the Nomads Nation leaderboard video. This is where myself and the whole Nomads Nation team, we get together and pick our favorite bags in distinct bag categories. So again, you can just get an idea of what the best options are on the market from different use cases and different people. I've gone ahead and linked that video above and in the description below. But if we are close with the Bellroy Laneway, here's two more specific alternatives that are just a little bit different. Alternative number one is gonna be the Evergoods Cast 2. A bit of an aesthetic departure, fully understand that. But the Evergoods Cast 2 is a really great bag. If you feel a little, duped by this bag in hip belt mode, and you want a bag that really works as a belt bag, but can also double up as a great sling. This is definitely one of the bags that I've seen do both very, very well. And my next alternative is gonna be the Tomtoc Sling Bean T32. A little bit closer to the Bellroy Laneway bag. This is actually a favorite bag of Marissa, the host of Gear for the Girls, our sister channel here at Nomads Nation. I think it's definitely a much better sling/hip bag than this is. Honestly, all bags have their unique set of pros and cons, but to learn more about the two alternatives, just go ahead and watch these videos here. I'm gonna leave them up on the screen for a second so you can decide which one's best for you. In the meantime, if you have any questions, be sure to let us know in the comments below or in the Nomads Nation subreddit. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron. This is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.